he said, I want you to meet my mom, but my mom can be a little, maybe tough, just in the sense of, her bringing in new people into the family, especially.
warning. Welcome, Judy Brisky.
Thank you, Danny Brisky.
So today I have the honor to be here with her, and we're going to talk about the relationship between daughter-in-law and mother-in-law. How's that going to be like? I don't know. I'm excited to find out. So Judy Brisky, tell us a little bit about yourself, like what you've done in ministry before. Tell me just a little glimpse so they can know you a little better.
Okay, well, I'm Judy, and my husband Mike and I have been married for 33 years, and we have two sons. One of our sons is Jacob, married to Neely. They're in Tennessee, here in the United States. And our second son, our younger son, is Joel, and that's Danny's husband.
Beautiful, handsome.
And so you can tell that's the one she's married to. And a little bit about us. So we have been in ministry for several decades. My husband was a professional golfer on the PGA Tour in the U.S. And then the Lord just kind of spoke to his heart, and he knew that he wanted to be in ministry. So the way God does things, we ended up meeting a wonderful pastor, which was Robert Morris of Gateway Church, and my husband ended up being on staff. And so together we've ministered in marriage ministry and parenting, and now he serves Pastor Robert in running his office. So it's been a lot of fun, and for myself, I enjoy teaching and speaking about whatever topics the Lord puts on my heart, but primarily marriage, family, and being a mom. And so I've written 2 books. One's called The Joy of Being Mom, and then I wrote a devotional kind of as a follow-up to that book. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. I love being a grandmother. I love being a grandma to their daughter Melody, and to my grandsons in Tennessee, Bennett and Everett. And so it's a fun season for me right now.
Judy Brisky. So tell us a little bit about your mother-in-law. This whole series is about mother-in-law.
Right.
So, and I have a mother-in-law. You're married, and you have or had a mother-in-law.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how y'all's relationship are or were.
So my mom-in-law passed away several years ago. When Mike and I first started dating, he said, I want you to meet my mom, but my mom can be a little maybe tough, just in the sense of her bringing in new people into the family, especially. Okay, so first, you know what I should say. Here's the thing. Michael is I call him Michael. He's the youngest of 10 children, and I'm an only child. And I'm 4 years older. And so, I think what happened was when his mom met me, she was like, okay, well, once she's older, she already finished school. I'd already started a job that I really loved in marketing. And, I think she thought, she did think that I was going to distract him. Oh. So it was really hard. We dated for several years. He wanted to finish school first and get his career started with golf. And so it was hard the first couple of years. Mom Brisky wasn't, crazy. I used to feel that she wasn't crazy about me, but Mike used to say, well, no, it'd be anybody I date. But that didn't help because I was the one. So all this to say, we get married, and my husband and I, we weren't Christians. We became born again Christians a year into our marriage. And when we were born again, it makes me emotional, the Lord changed everything. And really what happened was he changed my heart towards my mom-in-law. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that I didn't already care about her, but I just couldn't understand. And I gave up trying to understand. And one day the Lord told me, you need to tell her that you're sorry. And I felt, why would I be sorry? I didn't do anything. Wow. But I felt like the Lord said, because you know better, and you know me, And so I did. I told her, I want you to know I'm sorry if I've ever done or said anything to offend you. I said, I love your husband and I love being part of your family. Please forgive me. And her response was, don't worry about it. That's all she said. And I'm like, don't worry about it? Y'all, I realized that the Lord had me apologize to take the weight off my heart. It was really for me. Everything changed after that. Everything changed. We became friends. We became mother and daughter. Like I say, she passed away a few years ago. I still miss her. We were very close. God did a miracle in our relationship.
Wow.
And everything changed. In fact, when my mother actually passed away before my mother-in-law, after my mom died, she really came into my life to be a mom. And I loved her so much. I still miss her. And I think the whole story behind my story is that God can redeem a relationship.
Yes,
especially when it's a mother-in-law and the daughter, because those can be hard relationships. It's hard with the Lord, and sometimes it's definitely harder without Him. So I think my story, I wanted to encourage you that if you have that kind of tough situation, it's sometimes the prayer isn't so much, Lord, fix the situation, but Lord, help me see her the way you see her.
That's good.
And then it changes your heart.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Wow. So let's talk a little bit about the types of mother-in-laws that are there. How many? Like, is it just one? Like, usually they are negative one, or?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I think it depends. I mean, honestly and truly, I've only had one mom-in-law, but if I think about my friends and different situations, I think you're gonna find that there really aren't a whole lot of different ones. There's the ones that really want to have relationship with their daughter-in-law right away, and that was me. I think because I had gone through such a hard time that when my older son got married and then when Joel got married, it was important to me to have relationship. And honestly, I think I learned along the way. Poor Neely, that's my first daughter-in-law. She was my guinea pig because she was my first one, and she's been so gracious to me. And so I think I even learned from that. But it was still easy. It was easy to welcome her into our family. It was easy for me to love her because I didn't have. First, let me say, I was gonna say I didn't have a daughter. So I have 2 sons, but I have 3 children in heaven. And the last baby that we miscarried was a baby girl who was with us for a short time before she passed away. And her name was Danny, which is really neat. So when Joel met you and he said, Mom, I want to tell you something. And I'm like, oh, what is this? He said, her name is Danny. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I knew immediately that God had not sent you to replace, but to be a bonus, to be an extra blessing to me, into my life. And that's how I see my daughters-in-law, as blessings to my life. So how many mother-in-laws are there? I think when you think of personalities, there's always going to be different personalities. You know, I tend to be goofy and silly, and if you haven't noticed, I can talk a lot. So sometimes you just got to kind of pull me in so I can slow her down. So there's going to be the ones that are very active in wanting to have relationship. That's me. But then there's some that aren't. It doesn't mean they don't love you. If you're struggling with your mother-in-law, know that there may be something that it's probably 9 out of 10 times has nothing to do with you. And it may even be 10 out of 10. It's not even you. It's something that they might be going through. Maybe they've had a rough relationship with their mom-in-law for whatever reason. Maybe they've been hurt by someone. Maybe they've lost someone in their life. You just don't know. So I just want to encourage you, when you're married, whether you've been married, whether you're engaged, or maybe you're already married for a short time, maybe you've been married for 20 or 30 years like I have, and you're like, we're still struggling. Start now. God is the God of starting over, and you can start over every single day if you have to. And don't feel like, oh, but I'm really messing up. No. Start over. Start with how you want to have your relationship. If you know you want to be close, then you be the one that initiates, that starts relationship, that invites her to go places. And if she doesn't want to, don't feel bad. It's not about you. And let me say right here, if you have said something, maybe at the beginning, maybe things were said, then say you're sorry. Just apologize. And if she still doesn't receive it, you can know that you've done everything you can. And let me say, the number one thing you can do for your mother-in-law, whether you have a great relationship or you're building a great relationship or it's quite not there yet, pray for her. Pray for her that God will do whatever God needs to do. We don't know what she's gone through. We just don't know. My mom and her mother-in-law, they had a relationship, but it wasn't like, oh, super close. But my grandmother was very quiet. She just didn't talk a lot. Did she love my mom? I have no doubt. She didn't. She was very quiet. So when we got together, which, you know, was just once in a while, Grandma just didn't talk a lot. She didn't talk a lot to me, but I loved her and I know she loved me. She was quiet. Personality has a lot to do with it. So I just encourage you, love her where she is. Pray for where you want to be. And then let the Lord guide the steps, because, you know, we can push too hard. And sometimes I feel like I push too hard. But it's because I love my girls and I get so excited. So, you know, have an open relationship when you can. And sometimes it may take longer than other times. That's okay. God's timing is always perfect. So you love her where she is. You reach out as much as you possibly can. And if she pushes back, that's okay. You do what you do. And remember, you're married to her son, who is now your husband. You're not married to the mom. You have relationship, but your husband's always going to be first. Always, after the Lord. So you want to build that relationship, but just know this here with your husband's always the priority, you know, and he'll help you with navigating that relationship. I hope that helps.
Absolutely, yes, that's good.
Good.
And if you want more content about relationships and marriage and fun interviews, please subscribe here on the channel and come have fun with us and be a part of this family here. It's been an awesome adventure.